After transmigrating into a mafia novel, I found myself with an unexpected younger brother. In the original storyline, he endured years of abuse before seizing power and feeding me to wolves in pieces. Now the sharp-edged youth, Matt, knelt before me on the floor. I removed my leather gloves and slapped him just hard enough to leave a sting. Mistake? Didn't stop when Luke said stop. Future? Obey Luke's every word without question. They say you tame madmen with love, but trained loyalty beats pampered devotion. When Matt hospitalized our business partner and cost us a deal, I made my displeasure clear. After the slap, I pressed my Oxford shoe into his shoulder, applying calculated pressure. The overseas branch was supposed to keep you occupied. Behave. Luke, that's not what I want. His cheeks flushed as fingers crept up my trouser leg. Madman. We both knew his true appetite: control of the Evans family empire. Dominance over me. Blood heir versus adopted placeholder fulfilling dead foster parents' wish. Furious, I kicked him away, wincing as chest wounds pulled. Matt's smirk vanished when he saw blood blooming through my bandages, remnants from taking 2 bullets for him during that Somalia ambush. The memory of his frenzied rage that day still chilled me, revealing a disturbing truth: his obsession went beyond familial. Matt's greedy nature consumed everything: power, possessions, people. This twisted fixation? Unheard of. If unchecked, we'd destroy each other. You're pale. Matt breathed against my collarbone, his alluring face dangerously close. He'd weaponized those features since adolescence. I lit a cigarette using his lighter, blowing smoke into his face until he coughed. Back off. The day we met, I'd considered killing him. Those eyes stayed my hand. Now, after playing the dutiful brother for the protagonist's sake, I deserved my own life. Your birthday's next week. Make any request. He massaged the veins on my hand, his touch lingering. Anything? Propose first. You'll know when the day comes. Matthew Evans knelt at my feet, pressing his face against my thigh with feigned innocence. He straightened up and brushed his lips against the gun holster. Good night kiss. I'm heading to bed first. Luke. The butler entered the study later. Mr. Evans. The young master stood outside the door earlier, staring through the crack for quite some time. I dismissed him with a wave. Leaning back, I exhaled smoke rings until the simmering irritation overpowered me. Crushing the cigarette in my palm, I glanced down at the conspicuous strain in my trousers. Restless brat. Work dragged past midnight. I collapsed onto bed without turning lights on, only to jab my elbow against something warm. Yanking the covers back revealed Matt grinning around the garment, smothering his face. He discarded it and coiled around me like a python. Sleeping in your room tonight, Luke? He'd occupied the adjoining suite since childhood, our bedrooms separated by one wall. Apparently my recent absences had him redecorating. The overflowing ashtray on the nightstand caught my eye. I gripped his jaw, thumb digging into his canine. When did you start smoking? The little shit nuzzled my fingers. After nightmares where you branded me. He pulled his collar down, tracing collarbone. Right here. Figured if I smoked your entire stash. My index finger shoved deeper into his mouth. You address me properly. Matt gagged, eyes watering as he nodded. His nightmares began when I first took him in feral child clutching kitchen knives by my bedside. We'd circled each other like caged wolves until the day he nearly burned my contracts. The spanking that turned his ass crimson finally broke the stalemate. After that, he'd drag his bedding to my door, whimpering Luke like some broken record, even mid-coitus with others. Hence the sweet. I yanked his rumpled shirt. Mine? Fit better now than when you first gave it. The implication prickled. I slammed his face into mattress until choked gasps erupted, wiping drool from his mouth. I smoothed his hair. My clothes don't suit trespassers. In the original story, Lucas inherited his position as head of the family by sheer luck. with no real capabilities. He only focused on tormenting Matt to eliminate any threats to his power. But I'm nothing like that good for nothing. Matt caught his breath. Luke, you really never take a loss, do you? I gently traced the red mark I'd left on his neck, blowing on it affectionately. Does it still hurt? Don't blame me, Matt. Since I'm not blood related to the Evans family, I've always felt insecure. As always, I balanced harshness with timely vulnerability, nurturing his guilt. What's mine is yours. Always. I'll leave after the birthday celebration and return everything to you. That part was true. With Matt no longer wanting me dead, I could finally depart peacefully. Matt's expression frosted over instantly. Where? Somewhere nobody knows me. A fresh start. The corner of Matt's mouth lifted, but his eyes remained cold. Then, we'll see after the celebration. The Evans family's birthday celebration had to be spectacular. It would also mark the end of my role in this predetermined storyline. Matt had security checks at all 3 estate gates. When questioned, he simply claimed concern about unwanted rodents. An ominous feeling had kept me restless since morning. Is the plane ready? The butler bowed. We depart after the last guest leaves. So soon. Matt's voice echoed from the veranda. Sunlight illuminated his styled appearance, momentarily dazzling me. I dismissed the butler and walked with him through the gardens. Though constantly wary due to the original plot, I couldn't forget I'd raised this person from childhood. Our bond defied simple definition. You've mastered the family business remarkably fast. Your teachings were excellent. I've nothing left to teach. I'll formally withdraw from the Evans family and relinquish all authority. Matt halted. You're running from me. Turning halfway. My face shadowed as my gaze pinned him. After several tense seconds, he sighed in surrender. Sir. Good boy. Blood doesn't define brotherhood. Remember your place. The unspoken boundary hung between us. Matt's last trace of pleasantry evaporated. The event proceeded flawlessly. As guests departed, the butler informed me Matt waited in the rooftop concert hall. Moonlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows onto the center stage where Matt sat with his cello. Posture deceptively docile. Luke. He murmured, fingers grazing the strings. Your presence here is the greatest gift. The melody flowed as slowly as water, a 19th century French love ballad. I raised my hand to signal my bodyguards to retreat outside. When Matt's parents died years ago, I'd fought tooth and nail against the Branch families to protect him. We'd relied on each other through those dark days. And at times, he'd become my unexpected pillar of strength. Our relationship wasn't the life or death struggle others imagined. As the music faded, I offered polite applause. Leaving tonight, Matt? I can't bear it. Matt threw his arms around me, eyes suspiciously bright. His uncharacteristic vulnerability softened me despite myself. I might visit during holidays. Sharp pain shot through my neck. I shoved him away, staggering back. Matt tilted his head, examining the empty syringe in his hand before tossing it aside. What happened to you, Luke? You should have broken my ribs. Dragged me bloody across gravel. Why take me to amusement parks? Hire private tutors? Learn to make soup when I was sick, though yours tasted like dishwater. My thoughts swam, but one realization surfaced: this had to be the so-called rebirth plot. You'd be begging on streets without me. Yet here you are being picky. I braced against the dizziness, refusing to show weakness. Matt's fist slammed into my gut with unfamiliar force. Tears springing unbidden. He licked them clean, eyes darkening. Whoever you are, imposter, you'll make decent entertainment. His voice faded in and out as darkness encroached. When words failed, he sealed his lips over mine, dry heat giving way to metallic blood. You've tormented me for years. Well played. I awoke tied to an antique chair in my bedroom. Matt sat on the bed, busy with my dress shirt. He met my glare with a hazy kiss, teeth drawing blood before pulling back breathless. My kick sent him sprawling. The mess staining my trousers ignited cold fury. "You vile brat! Look at me!" Brother, head of the Evans family. His smirk held no remorse. But not for long. The missing bodyguards confirmed it. Matt's influence had spread everywhere, faster than the original story's timeline. His foot hooked my belt, sliding lower. Decades of abstinence betrayed me instantly. As his hands mapped muscle and rein like kisses fell, I finally understood this game had changed long before I noticed. My ears get so sensitive when you bite them. Matthew Evans kissed a few times, calling out Luke each time, and the name only came faster as things heated up. That title wasn't just about status, it became fuel. The drug hadn't fully worn off, and every time I tried to lash out, he pinned me down. My legs hooked over his shoulders, the chair cushion turning slick. When I slid forward, he slammed back harder. For someone with that dangerously pretty face, he played ruthlessly. Easy. Acting like you've never had this before, he slowed suddenly, grinding into the mess beneath us. Just as frustration coiled in my gut, he drove down brutally. His lips brushed my ear. "If I'd known pleasure could feel like this, I'd have tied you up the day I turned 18. Humiliation and rage made me sink my teeth into his shoulder. Pain ripped a gasp from him, his cheeks flushing fever bright. His palm pressed over the trembling heat below my navel. "See? Right here." I tried to curl away, but he held firm. "Not yet." Matt didn't cage me, the whole estate was mine to roam. Except the gates. He'd perch on my lap in the study, reviewing business updates while I pretended to work. Contracts bore my name, but his signature. All theatrics to prove the Evans family now answered to him. Not me. Pathetic. That brat actually thought he could break me. I locked the bedroom door triple that night. No food. No water. No letting him in. At first, he wheedled through the door, sweet talking. When silence answered, he waited days. Then came the axe. Wood splintered as he hacked through. "Luke." He knelt by the bed, kneading my hand. All false tenderness. The butler treats you like his own son. Refused to leave even when his real boy made it big in Mexico. My pulse jumped. "Don't make him worry. Okay?" He spooned broth to my lips. I swallowed. His smile bloomed. "Bring the butler to me." Later, in the garden, Matt led the old man over. Unharmed. Good, my only hope now hinged on him. "I'll give you anything." Matt nuzzled my chest like an overgrown pup. "As long as you stay." Run? My name's a target. Even if I escaped Matt, others would hunt me. No, I needed to die. Permanently. That's where the butler's son came in. Mike Lee. Worked under me years back. Now running his own show south of the border. Get to him, and I'd vanish clean. Fake a corpse. Live quiet. Simple. For now. I let Matt cling. Let him think he'd won. Every obedient sip of soup. Every nod. Stoked his delusion. His thumb traced my wrist. Blind to the clock ticking behind my smile. Matt had dark circles under his eyes these days. Clearly not sleeping well. At night he shamelessly dragged his pillow and blanket onto my bed. When I didn't kick him out like before, he looked pleasantly surprised. He jolted awake around midnight, suddenly flipping over to choke me with bloodshot eyes. His grip tightened with manic strength. The Evans legacy has been mine for 2 lifetimes. How much longer will you haunt me, you bastard? It hit me these were the exact days when Luke was supposed to die in the original story. His first bloodshed. Fighting suffocation. I pressed my forehead to his like comforting a feral cub, patting his back. It's over now, calm down. His expression gradually softened, grip loosening. Hearing me cough, fleeting guilt and concern flashed through his eyes before coldness returned. Try leaving me and I'll sever your tendons. I sighed, wrapping him burrito-style in blankets before embracing the human spring roll. This childhood ritual always grounded him. Better now? Childish tricks. I only humored you before. Did you actually think this works? Ungrateful, his insults trailed into steady breathing. Asleep. Still acting tough. I found the butler waiting in the hallway. Mr. Evans. Mike's team is prepped for deployment. Have them move out in 3 days. Our precision components kept getting intercepted overseas. Though losses were minimal, the nuisance was getting intolerable. While Matt handled cleanup, I contacted gate security. The outside world believed I'd been bedridden for months. When Matt inevitably discovered my meetings, his eerie calm foreshadowed the storm. The basement revelation stunned me. Walls lined with toys? What had this brat been collecting? Matt folded a writing crop under my chin. My adoptive father promised care but treated me like livestock. Liar. You swore to stay. Yet scheme behind my back. Liar too. Bound to a wooden frame, he lashed me head to toe with humiliating precision. No real injury. Maximum degradation. You should temper that anger before it destroys you. Preaching while your world burns? He sneered. I never planned to leave. Every word from your mouth reeks of deceit. All night, various implements tested my endurance. Even my sturdy constitution faltered under relentless torment. After his rage spent itself, regret flickered across Matt's face seeing me shiver on the couch. He swaddled me in blankets, carrying me upstairs. Not your fault, brother. Next morning, security chief trembled as Matt aimed a nail gun at his eye. Mr. Evans told me to buy the Sun statue at East Harbor Park with his credit card. Matthew Evans froze. 5 years ago, he'd sneaked out to clear his head, gotten drunk, and called me in a daze. When I arrived, I found him clinging to a 7-foot sun statue, snot and tears frozen on his face, insisting the glowing metal was warm enough for good sleep. The study held only Matt and me now. He fidgeted awkwardly while I curled into the armchair, refusing to look. His fingers brushed the teeth marks bruising his thigh. Does it still hurt? When I stayed silent, his voice softened like melted wax. I'll change. Whatever you hate, I'll fix. Please don't stay angry. I finally met his eyes. Take me shopping tomorrow. His relief was instantaneous. Good. That beating wasn't entirely wasted. After the mall, I dragged him to the shoreline. Midnight waves rocked a yacht offshore as Matt lit sparklers, boyish delight flushing his cheeks. The bodyguard's shout shattered the moment. Mr. Evans! The main house called. The butler's gone. Matt's head snapped toward me just as my pistol pressed against his temple. His laugh tasted bitter. You'd still leave. I marched him toward the yacht. The Evans empire's yours to burn. I'm done playing house. Was any of it real? The gun trembled against his skull as his voice cracked. The winter scarves? Laughing until we choked on cotton candy? Was that all lies? The yacht engine roared to life. A muffled pop pierced the noise silencer. Burning lead tore through my lung before I registered the sound. Matt lowered his signaling hand, picking up my dropped pistol. Let's end this together, he whispered, barrel tilting under his chin. Click. Empty chamber. Never regretted raising you. I choked as seawater swallowed me. Even through the gunshot wound, his shattered hull followed me down. 6 bodyguards tackled him screaming into the surf while others fished for my corpse. They pulled him back coughing blood, his wails outlasting the tide. Next morning's headlines declared Lucas Evans deceased. The Evans group announced Matthew Evans as successor. The area was treacherous with hidden currents. And it being late at night, it made sense they couldn't retrieve the body. Few would notice Mike's men lurking nearby, ready to rescue me the moment I hit the water. "Your boy's been acting like a zombie lately," Mike remarked, handing me the newspaper. Matt's photo showed a pale face etched with bone-deep exhaustion, as though halfway to the grave already. During my recovery, Mike had kept me updated on the Evans family. Matt had survived 2 suicide attempts, been rushed to emergency rooms, then started pulling all-nighters before he'd fully recovered. Once he'd snuck out to the stretch of coast where I'd disappeared, only to collapse and nearly freeze to death. Typical protagonist plot armor, guy could walk through hell and come out whistling. Lucky bastard. "I'll expedite your new identity papers. Stay low until then." The simultaneous disappearance of me and our butler would inevitably point fingers at Mike. Once Matt's grief fog lifted, he'd start connecting dots. Quebec welcomed me with crisp autumns and steady work. 2 peaceful years later, I ran my own design studio, small but satisfying. Maple leaves spiraled down as I walked toward the cinema, coffee in hand. "Leon, you're late. Apologies. Your brother kept me discussing blueprints." Nyla tugged my arm inside. On the theater steps, sudden goosebumps prickled my neck. I turned, just ordinary pedestrians. The unease returned during my midnight walk home. I ducked into an alley, senses sharpening. Footsteps approached. He emerged under the street lamp, face lifting. "Matt, am I dreaming?" His laugh cracked like dry earth. Tears tracked down hollowed cheeks as he pressed trembling fingers to his mouth. The kid had shot up taller than me but looked skeletal, some withered sapling clinging to life. "Who are you?" I asked. His breath hitched. "You're doing this on purpose." "Truly, I don't." He lunged, yanking up my sleeve. The bullet scar made him whimper. "Not wrong. It's you." Calloused palms cradled my face. "We'll start over. I'm your lover." Christ. The audacity. "Where you from, pal?" "Folks who shoot people here call it enmity, not romance." His flinch was visceral. "You remember." Fingers twisted in my coat belt like prayer beads. "I thought only death could chain us together. Forgive me." Kid never learned healthy love. Not my job to teach him now. I'm alive, and unapologetically selfish, with a bright future ahead. I won't linger too long in dead-end alleys. "How did you find me?" "Those overseas pests years ago were organized. I followed the trail back to Mike. I hacked into the butler's contact list with Mike and found a name that rarely appeared except around holidays. Leon, that's you." I snatched the belt from his hands, heading toward my apartment. "You've seen me. Now leave." I'm coming with you." "To where?" I blocked him. "This is my home. There's no place for you here." Matt's face turned ashen as he trailed behind me like a shadow, keeping a cautious distance yet refusing to leave. The moment I stepped into my warm apartment, I slammed the door on him. My assistant called as I collapsed onto the bed. A massive cash infusion had saved our studio from financial collapse. The transfer screenshot showed an unfamiliar account name. Matt shows up and suddenly we're solvent? Even an idiot could connect the dots. "Keep it. I paid for this with my life." Dawn brought fog and a knocking neighbor. "Leon? Is this your friend?" Matt huddled by the doorway, shivering in his coat. The damp chill made his sleep look fitful. "He'll catch his death out here." "Never seen him. Some drunk who took a wrong turn." Matt jerked awake. "Not drunk. I'm his friend," he rasped, congestion already thickening his voice. "With that bomber still loose, you shouldn't leave people outside," the neighbor warned. True enough, having him die on my doorstep would be terrible luck. Knowing Matt, his ghost would haunt me relentlessly. I dragged him inside, dumping him on the couch with hot tea. The space heater gradually returned color to his cheeks. I'm not going back with you. I know you want freedom. I never planned to force you or even show myself. He waited for questions I refused to ask. Finally he cracked. Who's that girl? Who do you want her to be? I want you single. I am. Changes nothing between us. Matt's bitter smile faltered as he flooded me with apologies for the past. I'm flying back today. One last hug. After endless silence, I sighed in defeat. Swaddling his shaking form in a blanket burrito, I carried him to bed. Sleep. Your eye bags could hold groceries. He clung to my shirt the moment I tried leaving, trapping me in a rainy afternoon nap. At the airport, Matt invented every delay possible, queuing for overpriced coffee, hunting souvenir shop trinkets. Any local friends I should meet? I'll treat them to dinner. I crossed my arms, watching his performance without comment. Matthew Evans hung his head, finally subdued. I understand. I'll leave now. Seeing him like this tugged at my conscience. You can visit during holidays if you want. His eyes instantly lit up, nodding vigorously. A deafening explosion rocked the air, temporarily rupturing my eardrums. Thick smoke billowed nearby as screams erupted. A parked car had detonated. My neighbor's warning about serial bombers flashed through my mind. I shoved Matt's head down, dragging him away from the blast zone. We hadn't moved 10 feet when my survival instincts screamed, multiple devices planted. The second explosion caught us at the periphery. In that split second, Matt tackled me to the ground. Shrapnel and debris rained around us. A molten metal fragment grazing my cheek as hot liquid dripped down my face. Matt lay critically injured. I half carried him to relative safety, his labored breathing wet against my neck. Don't want to die. Wanted to spend Christmas with you, he rasped. Permission granted. Save your strength. I snapped, unable to tell if the dampness soaking through my shirt came from blood or tears. His sobs grew louder, fingers desperately clutching my collar. I'll give you anything. Please, just love me. The plea dissolved into choked gasps before he went limp in my arms. Hospitals always reeked of mortality to me. That sterile stench clinging to death. The novel about Matt becoming family patriarch had gone on permanent hiatus after that plot point. Given his temperament though, I suspected his previous life ended young. Even now, I kept imagining flatlining monitors and silent oxygen masks. When I blinked awake from uneasy dozing, Matt was already watching me. He hooked his pinky around mine with a weak grin, his silent victory against being sent away. Always criticized his warped understanding of relationships. Yet mine wasn't any healthier. This obsessive codependency strangely anchored me. Mutual damage. No escape. His back resembled raw hamburger meat after the bombing. Each bandage change turned the stoic air into a thundercloud. Suck it up, I said, entering with fruit. He immediately commandeered my hand as a cheek pillow beside the ignored gift basket. Better. Drama queen. Work commitments beckoned that evening. But Matt wheedled until I stayed. Unable to lie flat. He draped himself over me like a human-weighted blanket. Your pecs beat hospital pillows. Quit the bullshit. After a week of being his mattress. My body ached from the grown man's dead weight. Midnight stillness shattered when wandering fingers crept under my waistband. I caught his wrist mid-grope. The hell? Matt? Helping relieve stress. You've been tense with work. True enough, between sudden studio commissions and playing nurse. I hadn't slept properly in days. Even wounded like a porcupine. You still won't behave. Matt nuzzled against my collarbone, his lips grazing my jawline. The rising heat between us drew choked gasps from my throat, only for him to stop abruptly at the crucial moment. What's wrong? My voice rasped, still catching my breath. My back hurts. Luke. He pressed closer. the outline of his arousal evident through hospital scrubs as he shifted against my thigh. Help me. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Pausing at this awkward moment. I really can't move, ah. His protest dissolved into a muffled groan against my chest as I flipped our positions. Warn me next time. Nearly gave me a heart attack. Say thank you instead next time. Next time? Sounds perfect. Our feverish recklessness left the hospital room reeking of antiseptic and shame. With Nellie's brother wrapping up business here, their departure loomed. Leon, come help me pick souvenirs for my friends this afternoon. Nellie and I shared an unexpected bond, her doll-like features clashing wonderfully with her passion for industrial machinery. I'd unwittingly adopted paternal instincts toward her. Never thought about settling down? She asked while examining steel-plated wristwatches. Who'd want an old relic like me? Stop it! You barely look 30. That's because I kidnap youngsters to brew eternal youth potions. You're next. Enough. My girlfriend wouldn't appreciate that joke. Having fun? Matt materialized between us. Smirk aimed at me. He'd obviously followed us, radiating shameless pride. And you are. How to define us? Brothers? Not with our bedroom history. Enemies? Enemies don't fuck that passionately. Wife. Matt declared, drawing stares from nearby shoppers. I'm his wife. Nellie waved off my spluttered explanations. You've got great taste. Leon. Save me a wedding invitation. Later. Grocery bags in one hand and my disobedient dog of a lover in the other. I slammed our apartment door. You're getting bolder with these public declarations. Well-fed and revitalized. Matt caged me against the kitchen island. Was I wrong? We do everything married couples do. I'm your brother. My brother's Lucas. Not Leon. His mouth sealed over my retorts. Stealing words through bruising kisses. Produce scattered across tiles as he pinned my wrists above my head. The table screeching against floorboards with each thrust. Enough. Stop. Who's saying stop? Me. Say your name. The bastard demanded, teeth grazing my pulse point. Leon. Leon Evans. Good boy. His chuckle vibrated against my skin as darkness swallowed us whole. I slapped Matthew Evans. I'm your brother. After who knows how long of reckless antics. Matt chuckled and pulled me into his arms, his breath heavy with satisfaction. I wiped the tears from my face, only to notice a sleek black diamond band now adorning my ring finger. And your husband. He hooked his finger around mine. Matching set. Like it? I sighed, half amused. You and your theatrics.